All right. Good morning, everybody. And once again, the camera has failed me. I don't understand what I keep doing wrong. I had this app that I run. Good morning, by the way. I had this app that I run, and it's supposed to set my camera to be the right zoom in and centered thing, right? And I do it before the show starts, and then I close the app, and it's supposed to keep it, and it doesn't keep it. So anyway, my own issues. Good morning. Welcome to the House Edge live show. New thing. We're changed the name of the show. I'm getting the time figured out. I think we're onto something here as far as getting some consistency. Anyway, today's going to be an interesting one. This whole week is going to be, I think, very interesting. I'm getting my chip set up. We're going to go right to the table here and kind of get going right away today and all week long. And we're going to play or take on a challenge from Ken Knows Gambling. And I'll explain that challenge to you in a minute here. If you've been watching his channel, this is his brainchild. It basically dovetails off of a challenge that I gave a long time ago that John Patrick gave all of us a longer time ago. And I'll explain how that works here once we drop into it. Good morning to the Holy Roller. How you doing, man? Good video this morning, by the way. I watched your were you, by the way, Brian, were you on the icon when that murder-suicide thing happened? Were you there, or is that the sailing after you? But, it's funny. I've heard now from you, and I can agree with this, by the way, people who play craps on a cruise, unless you're on a dice cruise, like a Premier Casino hosting real live dice cruise, you're going to have what you saw. You're going to have a bunch of randos, a bunch of drunk folks, a bunch of people that just don't know what they're doing. And it's going to be this kind of off-putting sort of, like you said, buying in. I saw somebody throw money on the table while the guy was setting the dice, and the guy drops money and like almost had his hand in the tub while the dice were in the air, like you saw. It's nuts, right? But and it's hard because I like to be a teacher. I'm a nice guy and all that stuff, right? And it's like you have to fight yourself to not be like, dude, wait till the puck is off. Like, I wish the casino would just have the published rules. Like, I think they're kind of like our etiquette, right? Like, playing with the puck's on, blah, 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 late bet. The casino should have the rules more clear. Like, one thing I appreciate about cruise ships up until now has been the whole back wall thing, right? Both dice don't hit the back wall. It's a no roll. Shit run or go blind. That's the rule. It's always been that way. Now it's like, well, unless it hits a chip. If it hits a chip, we'll call it. And if it hits a chip on the 6, 7, or the 6, 8, 9, or 10, but not the 4 or 5, then it's a no roll. Like now they're putting this weird nuance into it. Keep a rule. Like if every casino just said, if they don't both hit the back wall, it's not a roll. Chips, no chips, hands, whatever. It doesn't matter. If they would make that a hard and fast rule. If they would say, like Brian said on his video this morning, when they say dice are out, that means no more bets. That's the same as the roulette croupier putting their hand across and saying no more bets. It's the same thing. Dice are out means no more bets. Hands off the tub. What they should say is hands up, dice are out, which means everybody has to do this while the guy's shooting. If they just did that, right? Simple little rule, right? They don't accept money until the puck is off. They go, wait a minute, sir. Puck is on, right? When the puck's off, they'll take money. If the casinos enforce that rule, buy in when the puck's off, hands up, dice are out, both dice hit the back wall, done. There'd be nobody would bitch. Nobody would bitch. You got to be consistent. Consistency is where it's at for these guys, and it's unfortunate. That from casino to casino, from game to game, from cruise to cruise, it's not consistent. You want to have absolute consistency. Everybody would love it. Good morning, Dan. How you doing, man? All right, let's get to it. We're going to do a little bit of hopefully some conservative play today. I may get my ass tore up. We'll find out. But we're gonna jump in and we're gonna do what we always do and start off by telling you about how important it is to have all the important bits of your life organized in terms of being a good gambler. Okay, you can't be a good gambler, but you sure as hell can be a bad gambler. Let's try not to be bad gamblers, right? Let's have an understanding of our bankroll and what it can do. What is your bankroll capable of doing, right? How do you feel about risk? What's your relationship with risk? Are you averse to it? Do you have an appetite for it, right? Can you identify opportunity? And today we're going to talk about, and all week, we're going to talk about the opportunity to leave with money. I talked about this last week, about this notion of The second you get up, getting out, right? Or how often when you're up, how many times do you play and you're up at some point, you should leave, right? We're going to talk about that today, okay? That takes discipline. Your goal needs to be adjusted. Your goal needs to be not 5%, 10%. Your goal needs to be positive. If I'm in the positive, I am done. That's your goal now, right? Today, this week, our goal is I am in the positive. My discipline says I'm leaving. My opportunity I identify is to walk away the minute that I'm up. That's going to be what happens, right? You cannot be emotionally invested in a long roll. You just can't, right? So the strategy we choose today and our mindset determine it. I put the little pie chart up there. This is not hard and fast, obviously. This is my personal pie chart, how I view things, right? I care out of 100% of the things in the world, my risk, I don't care about risk, right? It's not a part of my life. I'm not averse to it. I don't have an appetite for it. It's a very small sliver for me, right? I lean heavily on bankroll and money management, right? I think I have some decent strategies. I don't mess around with them too much. And I'm pretty low on the EQ, or the EQ doesn't matter to me. I don't have a high emotional footprint, so that's why it's small for me, right? Anybody's chart could look different. You fill the holes in the pie how you feel, right? And then you got to adjust your play based on how your pie is configured. And that's an important thing, is to like kind of be in touch with who you are as a player and play the way that matches that. If you play to where your bankroll is a small slice of the pie, and you have nice little strategies and you're going to walk, you're going to be happier than if you play like you have a big bankroll, but you don't. Important to understand your pie chart. All right. The only thing really on the schedule here for me, besides Craps for the Cure, which we'll talk about later on, is the next Dice Cruise for me is in February, not October. I'm not doing the October Dice Cruise. I'm doing the one in February. All right. So here we go. Jen, you're going to love this one. Low EQ. Not IQ, EQ. All right. We're doing the Ken Knows Gambling 1-Win Challenge. All right. Yeah, Jen, you did snipe me that one time. Here's the challenge. It's 1 win and walk. Now, I'm going to do this for a long time. I'm going to take this challenge as seriously as I can. All right. What are you looking to win is the question. I actually was on the phone with Ken 3 minutes ago, so I was late today to clarify this. All right. He wants you to take your 5 best strategies or your 5 favorite strategies and see how good they do at winning at all. Right. What is a win? A win could be, like we're showing here, I got the wrong screen on here. The win could be 1 unit. The win could be 1 bullet, or the win could be 1 move. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Okay. 1 bullet, 1 win, or one move, or 1 unit. Okay. I've got these strategies to play. Okay. We have the Headless Horseman. We've got the Skill 66. We've got Duck and Cover. We've got a Pass Line Parlay. We've got the Dallas Drawdown. Now, what you'll notice when I get out here is that the Skill 66, the Duck and Cover, and the Dallas Drawdown effectively are the same strategy. At first, they start out with the same move, the same opening spread. If I don't PSO myself, the strategy, quote unquote, worked, and I'm done, right? If I go down on a PSO, then I got to jump in and recover playing the full strat. You'll see what I mean. If I go down today, you'll see what I mean. We're going to find out if these ways of playing can work. Okay. I've got these 5 for us this week. I'm going to do it again next week. Okay. And next week I might play these 5. Red Cross, the 5-5-5 don't, right? A nice low one, Red Cross high risk, 5-5-5 don't, not so much high risk, right? We got a double tap, the Pineapple Press, the original 1 hit can't miss bet. Okay. The idea is to take 5 strategies, 5 shooters, hopefully only 5 shooters, but 5 strategies, and see how much at the end of the session we won with the 5. That's all we're going to do. Can I take a win and walk? Now, it might be boring. The Headless Horseman might come out with a come out 2, and I win a quarter, and I'm done with the Horseman. That's it. It won a unit, and I'm done with it. I don't got to play the whole thing. If it wins a unit, it's done. That's how I'm going to play this whole week, okay? Next week, I'm going to try and have each strategy win a bullet. In other words, the Horseman with 5 units has to win 5 units. The Skill 66 has to win $66. Duck and Cover's got to win 110. You follow me? We're going to try and make these things win another extra bullet to play. maybe next week I'm going to try and win a whole move, and you'll see what I mean. But we're going to keep doing this for a little while. There's my craps, my 10 craps, but I also have this. I can play a parlay press in blackjack, which, by the way, Mom and I went to the casino yesterday, and we went to 2 casinos. Went to the Clearwater Saloon, which has got I think got 7 tables in that casino. 1 blackjack table, a bunch of other dumb games. I won $50. She broke even. We left. We went down the street to this other casino that's in a restaurant. It's called Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Went up in there. I won $50 again. And I actually won on a side bet. Don't tell the Blackjack Apprentice guys. I played a side bet and I won. I won it in like the first 4 or 5 hands, right? And she won some money, and we left. Up and left, right? Blackjack parlay press. The blackjack regression up and pull into a 3-leg parlay. My favorite way to play baccarat. I can play the permanent 12s or the hopscotch and roulette. And of course, we can play the 31 anywhere, right? I got 15 things that I can actually try with us for the next little while. And let's see how well we do, right? Let's see how well we do, right? We got my favorites. We have the conservative ones. I think for the most part, the across ones are pretty conservative, right? I could move the 5-5-5 don't up, but let's keep a don't strategy this week being the Headless Horseman. And next week, we'll do the don't strategy as the 5-5-5. I'll have one of those don't plays as part of it, right? The other ones are going to be more apt to recover quicker. All right, let's do it. Let's see what we got. We have all these ways to do it. Let's just give it a shot and see how we do. I'm going to go to here, the discipline challenge. Let me change my screen to the desktop and move it all out. Let's get this thing. The keyboard has to go here. Hang on a second. Oh God, all like not straight. There we go. We'll get this. All right, let's buy in for, I'm going to call it 750. I think is about the right number. Let me move my mouse. 750. I'm going to buy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $750. There it is. So 750 in the rack, and we're going to take. I'll put the rack over here. I'm not going to play any of the crazy stuff today. I'm going to take a black chip out and get 5 greens or 4 greens, and we're going to play the Horseman. 2 units on the don't. 1, 2, 3 come bets. That's it. Okay, that's the Horseman. If I can ever put 6 units in the front, we're done. That's it. We're gonna and the point of the challenge is, and Ken's in chat, I think. Jen says this challenge is crazy. The point of it is, right? It's a discipline test. It's, do you have the discipline to walk? Number 1. 2 is, do you have the strategies that can consistently get you there, right? And if you were to do this on 10 shooters, what would actually happen? Here we go. Let's come on out. Let me get some dice. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm going to dig out the, I'll dig out the bubble craps little thing. It's out there in a box. I got to go. My craps room is still a mess. I'll dig that out tomorrow and we'll do that. I didn't have time this morning. So we're just going to roll Yahtzee dice here in front of me. It's random. They're round. It's random. It's fine. Tomorrow we'll do something different. Here we go. Coming out. Let's survive. We got we weren't on that. We had $50 on the don't, and we rolled a 7. So we lose our first $50. Now the Horseman has to go ahead and recover, right? And there's a bunch of ways to play the Horseman from here, right? You can go to 1 unit don't and 2 come bets, right? And try and recover that way. You can do what Ken does and just say, screw you, and drop 3 units on the don't. Now, if I do that and we have another burnout on the come out, I'm being a world of hurt. All right, let's go. We may have to work hard today to recover. There's a 4. Right, we're on the 4. We're going to do the FU bet style, and there's the 7. That wins 1, 2, 2, 3 units. We started with 5 units. We have a unit in profit, and we're done. Horseman wins. We'll put the wins up here in the Jack Ace area. We'll put anything that a strategy wins, it goes up. That was shooter number 1. That was the Horseman. All right. Now we'll take our 750. We're going to do the skill 66. I can do this from any level. Okay. I'm going to show this to you. Okay. I'm going to show this to you at a bigger level. It doesn't matter where you play it. We're going to do it Dice Dr. Dan style. Okay. I'm going to go 330 inside 300. I'll put 350 out there. I'll take $20 in change. We're going to go 330 inside. Okay. Looks like this. We're going to go with all green chips. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So these all have 3 units on them. I'll spread them out so you can see them better. Ozworkin has the predictable math guy response to all this, right? The math guy says it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. It does matter. It really does matter. I'm going to just spread out these two just so you can see it. The rest of them I'm going to stack up normal. It does matter, right? If you were to play the same strategy in a computer forever and ever and ever, you'd lose. In a casino, it's different. Rhythm is a different thing. Your discipline's a different thing. This actually does matter. It really does matter. And I will say it till I go to my grave. All right, here we go. We're coming out 330 inside. We're going to get one win. Get one win, and that's it. We're going to take 2 cracks at it, right? Here we go. We got a 5 as the point. Don't care about the point. We're going to get one roll, and we're going to get out, right? There's a 9. 9 plays 105. $105, and we're out. Okay, now, if you want me to go and do this differently, I'm fine making this actually $66. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll just do that. Maybe I think to keep this thing sane, I'm going to reset that. The more I think about it, we're going to reset it because I don't want to make the numbers so stupidly crazy. Instead of going 330, let's do this. There's 1, 2, 3, 50, right? Hold on. I just screwed this up. I'm going to make this right. There's $750. I'm going to do it at the same bet level. I don't want to make things confused. So we'll do the same bet level. There's $66 out there. Okay. Out of my 750, I would have taken 100, right? And gotten back my change, which is 70, the $34. All right, let's do it the right way. There's my $34 change out of my 750. I'm out there for $66. I would have won on that 9, $21. $21, and that goes into the win pile. That's how we're going to do it. All right. Let's make it the right chip sizes. All right. So 750. I got my $34 back in change. We're out there for 66, and we're done. Okay, that was the skill 66. Now we're going to do the duck and cover. I'm going to take this money back. I will finish out that shooter, and then we'll do duck and cover. What should be in my rack, by the way, is still 750. All right, we have 600, 650, 675, 700, 25, 35, 45. I'm missing a nickel. There's our 750. All right. 750 in the rack. All right, here we go. We're going to finish the shooter out. We don't care what happens. The point was 5, right? He gets a new 8 as the new point. There's an 8 for this. Ooh, this guy's going great. 5 again is the point. There's a 9. There's an 8. Another 8. Let him finish. 11. 3. 8. Good gravy. 5. Another point hit. Come out 3. Come out 6. Boy, I'm wasting all the good rolls, aren't I? 3. 7 out. Next shooter. Right? You got to wait through that. You got to wait through that on this strategy, on this plan. That was shooter number 1. Shooter number 2. Now with my same 750, we're going to come out. We're going to play. It looks like duck and cover is up next. Duck and cover is a 110 inside bet, though. Right? So there's 75. There's a quarter. Duck and cover looks like this. Duck and cover, remember, we take one green level hit, reduce the bet size down, and off we go, right? So here we go. Duck and cover needs an inside hit. We got a midnight on the come out. We got a 6. Now all we got to do is avoid the PSO. We avoid the PSO. We're good. We catch a 7 right here. Then the strategy has to do its work, and we'll see if it can hang, right? We got an 11. We got a 4. Oh, boy. We got a 12. We got an 8. Bam, $35. 25, $35 is the win. Bets go off, right? Our next strategy is Dallas drawdown. We're going to take our bets off. Let this shooter finish themselves out. And here we go. Dallas drawdown will be interesting. Here we go. There's a 6. That's the point. Again, let the shooter finish themselves out. There's an 11. There's a 9. There's an 8. Oh, that was a 4 hard. Oh wait, that was 11-9. There was a 9. Sorry, that was the point. 8, 4 hard, midnight. 10, 7 out. Next shooter. Next strategy for me is going to be the, that was duck and cover. We're doing the pass line parlay next. Pass line parlay is easy. Let me change the chips out here into the right colors. There's 10. There's 50. I think I'm off on the number of chips. I think my rack is wrong. There's 50. Yeah, I've got too many. 6, 7, 50. All right. Now we're going to do the pass line parlay. Another super simple strat. Pass line parlay is very simple, right? No PSO. So Ken wants me to do any win at all. It's not about percentages. This is about up. I made this point last week. If you're up at all, you're done. It's not about percentage. This one here is about, I asked you the question last week, are you ever up? If you're ever up, do you have the nuts to walk? And that's what Ken kind of leaned into and made the challenge from. So here we are. Pass line parlay. Let's just see if we can make the pass line parlay work. Now, if I get one win, I'm good. If I don't, we're going to have to play it for a minute, right? There's a 2. There's a 6. We just need an 8. There's the 8. Pass line wins, and it's done. There's our 4th straight win today, right? That goes back in the rack. I'm back to my 750. All right, puck is off. Our puck is still on. No, the puck is now off. Same shooter. We got to wait it out. Right, you have to play once for each shooter. It's a 5. There's the 8. 3. Another 8. A 5. Another 5. Wow, good shooter. Another 8. Is that 4 8s? And there's the 7. All right, so there it is. There's our 4. Our 5th one is what? Dallas Drawdown. The Dallas Drawdown. Now, this is going to be a tough one. We're going to go 160 across. There's 150. We're going to get 75 and 25 for that black. Okay, let's just get a win. Let's just get a win. We're going to get a new point. It's going to be nothing yet. Point's going to be 4. 1 hit and down. 1 hit and down. Cute baby dice. There's a 6. 426. It pays $35. On that shooter, I'm up $35. I take all this back. Okay, and here we go. This is a very simple demonstration today. There's my 750. Okay, 35 on shooter 5. 35 on shooter 4. 25 on shooter whatever. There's a quarter there, and there's 21 here. I think the quarter was first, right? So there we go. I watched 5 shooters go by, right? All I did was play the strategy, the start of every strategy. Now, every strategy today, except for the horseman, won on the first move. There was nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened to me today, right? How much did we win? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 125. So 125 plus 16, whatever that is, right? Let's take a black for the greens. Let's take a quarter for the reds. We started with 750, and I'm up 136. 136 I'm up. I don't know what the percentage of that is. I can't do the math that fast, but I'm up 136, right? I watched 5 shooters go by. I'm predisposed to play five ways. Let's move this back over here. I'll come back and get some FaceTime with you. So give me a second here. Let's move this. Actually, I'll leave this down for a minute. I want to show you something. We did 5 shooters. I let them 7 out, got the next guy. My contention is, and my contention was last week, I think at some point you're up. Not on every shooter, but at some point you're up for your session. Now, if you go on every shooter, can I show a profit of any amount on every shooter at the table and stop playing? How would I do, right? Today, perfecto. Everything worked awesome. What if, though? I'm going to show you something. What if we did this? What if we said, okay, we're going to play the duck and cover, okay? And let's say that on the first hit, we got our $35, and then it goes down. We get a 7 out. We lose the 110. And I've got this. Well, now I'm down on this shooter, or I'm down for the session. What will we do next? Well, we put another 110 out there. And now you say, today we won, tomorrow this may happen. And we go, okay, you know what? Well, now we got to see, can the strategy recover itself? Can the strategy do what it was designed to do? Right? The easy wins are the easy wins. Do you have the balls to walk? This is going to be more of a case of what happens when you only have this. And I went out for 110 and I got 35 hours back. What am I now? I'm out 75 bucks, right? I got to make 75 bucks really quick to make this thing profitable. Watch what I do here, right? We're going to go ahead and pretend. Let's pretend we get some hits. I'm going to show you the recovery. Let's say the 9 hits, right? The 9, as you know, pays $35, right? And we bring the 9 down and make it look like 10. Okay? In my rack, I've got 75 and 2 black. Let's say the 5 hits for 35 bucks. Okay, the 5 hits for 35 bucks. It comes down and looks like 10. Now, what I've got in my rack is the first 110 that I've lost, right? On the felt, I've got 25, 50, 75, 85, 95, 105. I'm not recovered yet. I'm $5 down right now, okay? If anything hits, it doesn't matter what number hits. If an 8 hits, we'll do that one first. If the 8 hits for 35 bucks, right, I would stop playing in this rule set. We'll put it all back in a minute, but there would be the 110 I came out with on shooter number 2 and a profit of 30 bucks. That would be you're done, okay? Let's say that it was a different number. Let's say it was the 5 or 9. We're here, right? Let's say that was the 5 or the 9. Again, we're still here. We're not quite out of the hand yet. If the 5 or 9 hits for 14 bucks, that would be not the greatest thing in the world, but bring the 14 bucks. And guess what? We're going to come down. There's our 110. Bullet 1 that we lost and gained back. Bullet 2 regained. My profit, 25, 35, 40, $4. Done, right? This exercise is twofold. One, if my strategy worked before it had to work, before I had to put it to work, do I have the balls to walk? That's the first question, right? And if I did that on 5 straight shooters, how would I look in the bankroll? Well, you know, we just won 100 and whatever dollars, right? If my strategy fails out of the gate, can the strategy recover itself good enough to get me any win at all? And I'm done, right? In that case, we got 3 hits. We got our money back. We recovered the one that we lost, and we're out of here. That is the idea of this challenge. Now I'm going to go back to the other screen. Give me a second here to get my stuff together. Put the studio back, as it were. All right, here. Where's my? I got to go back a screen. There we go. All right. So that's the idea, right? Today and all week long. And tomorrow I'm going to do these strategies. I'll do these. I'll do Red Cross. Maybe I'll stick here. Maybe tomorrow I'll do the other ones. I don't know yet. The idea is, if the first move in the strategy is every strategy considered a 1 hit and down. Like, you're basically playing everything as 1 hit and down this week. That's how I'm going to do it. 1 hit and down this week. And if I did it, how would it look? And can I have that kind of discipline? It's not bad, right? Go 5 shooters and win $125. That ain't bad for looking for quarters. Next week, I'm going to do it with 1 bullet. So in other words, the skill 66 has to win 66 bucks. It's not going to be done until it wins a whole nother 66. I'm going to up the ante a little bit and see, can a strategy win itself back, right? And then the next week we'll say, can I make the move happen, right? That's going to be the deal. So that's it. That's the whole idea. If every day this works, then great. We got lucky this week, right? If we don't get lucky, we don't get lucky. I think that what Odds Working said, what Myopia Movie would say, what PJ Strong would say, what all the math guys would say, what probably our friend over at Dice Data, Matthew, would say, probably what Delightful Kiss Boy would say. It doesn't matter. If I had 1 roll today and 1 roll tomorrow and 1 roll Wednesday and 1 roll Thursday and 1 roll Friday and I won on all 5 rolls, what they would say to you is, you just saw 5 consecutive rolls with 24 hours between them. It's no different. The math guys will tell you, and they're right, there is no difference. I will tell you, Ken will tell you, players who play all the time will tell you, while that's true mathematically, the truth of the matter is there's a rhythm thing to this too. And sometimes you pull out when the rhythm is bad. That was not safe for work, but you know what I'm saying, right? If that happens more often than not, and you catch a good rhythm, you live in the variant, you create the variant that you kind of create by your presence. That's a different way of looking at this thing. And money management can do it. Smart ways of playing can do it. Allowing all those 8s and 5s we saw today to just pass on by and not give a crap matters, right? Now we got to see this, right, Jen? What happens when this goes bad, right? If it goes bad, the next question to answer is, can the strategy that you picked be strong enough to recover itself if it starts out bad? If I lost 110, if I lost to 66, if I lost all 5 units on the horseman, can it come back and win a unit on its own strength? Is the strategy itself strong enough, conservative enough, whatever enough to come back and win on its own and get you out of there? That's interesting. All right. That's the challenge. I like it. It's fun. And like I said, it gives me things to do all week, this week and next week. And we'll do some, I'll bring in the cards and we'll do some blackjack and some roulette and we'll do some whatever, right? We'll have some fun with it. And of course the 31. So that's the idea there. All right, let's go do some quick Q&A here and just see. I got to go back one more screen and I got to change this to that. And let's see if there's any more questions here. I'm going to search for Q's really quick. I think I did see a couple of them. Dan says, why all the different strategies? Ken just wants, we're doing because Ken wants to see some variety. That's all. It's really like, he's calling it the Fantastic Five. Like, what are your 5 best ways to play? I picked my 5 favorite ways to play. Like my 5 favorite, maybe not my best, my favorite ways to play are these. I love the horseman. I love the skill 66. I love duck and cover, and I love the parlay. The drawdown's fun, right? For a paycheck. I love all these ways of playing. They aren't necessarily my most grindy ways. If I wanted to do this, you know, you're pulling out the odds maker, you're pulling out the 3-point Johnny, you're pulling out other things that are more grindy. The 5-5-5 don't, for example, right? That's what you're pulling out to grind out a 1-unit win. These are going to be fun to watch when I lose the first bet, right? When I go out there and I PSO myself, it'll be more interesting to watch. How does the Dallas drawdown recover itself? Or can it? That's what we're going to find out. That's the reason why I think Ken just wants some variety, put our stuff to the test, and I think that's actually a good thing. All right. What else is being asked here in chat? There's so many things. The recovery on duck and cover is just you got to get a good roll, right? The recovery is playing it smart. So in other words, on duck and cover, if I can change camera views, hold on one second. Let me go here. There we go. So duck and cover, right? If she goes down, which she will, there's no question I'm going to PSO myself, right? What I showed you was the recovery plan, right? So if we go down and we catch, let's just say we get one win and we lose the 110. It goes away, right? And I've only got this, and I have to put a new 110 out there. The recovery plan, and I may lose that on a PSO right away. I may go down, oh shit, now we're down 2 bullets, right? And I got 750, so I can play it a few times, right? The plan then is to make it work, right? Does it work? In other words, we'll take the $35 on a win, drop the 9 down to 10. We'll take the $35 on a different one that wins. Maybe it's the 8 that wins, right? We'll take the 5 down to 10. I'll keep this here. We'll take another, let's say we get a $14 win. That's fantastic. We'll probably either same bet that, or I might grab the 10 and take the $4 home. We might get a $35 win on the 6, right? And I'll bring the 6 down to $12, right? The recovery plan is to get all your green chips off the table. Let's say that the 8 maybe wins later on. We get a 4 or whatever, the 8 wins. It comes down, goes back for 12. And at that point, the move worked, right? Duck and cover did its thing. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 110, 110, and a quarter. So I got my money back that I lost twice. So the first shooter, the second shooter, I've got a quarter in profit plus what's out there. That's the recovery plan. You might burn twice. If it works once, you're going to get your money back. That's the idea behind the recovery plan if you get the rolls to make it work, right? Part of this exercise is going to be showing you that not all strategies can recover, right? A strategy that requires a miracle roll won't recover. But this one, because what it does is always collects the green first, it's always bringing a green chip back on every bet that you make. When you get your green chips back in the rack, you've recovered yourself. 2 green chips recovers the shooter you're on. 4 green hits recovers a lost shooter, right? That's the recovery plan. And if we can make that work, right? If we can kind of force the action, wrong one there. Oh no, what happened? What is going on here? Hello. Why is it the wrong? There we go. If, again, that strategy is designed to do that. The skill 66, by the way, right? 66 to 88 to 44, that's $50. Every time that move works, you win $50. If it goes down once and you do it 1.5 times, you do the move once, you recover 50 of your 66. You do it a second time, you recover the rest of it plus your profit, and you're out with a quarter. That's the idea behind the recovery of these things, right? And you got to watch them play out. And believe me, I do this all the time, right? That's what we're going to find out. Can a strategy that relies on right side wins work? Can the horseman really recover itself? Can the pass line parlay show a consistent profit? These are things we want to see, right? And of course, do I have the energy to do it and walk away, right? And I think the 66 is a great recovery strategy, by the way. John Crossan, what do you think about a $200 don't and 160 across, including? So some cruise ships will call that a contra bet. Some of them will not take the bet. Some of them will call that bet the difference, $40 average. Some bets will call you at 360 as the total. And we argue about this, right? We argue that with 160 across and $200 on the don't, you could lose every bet. The casino's contention is you can't lose every bet on one roll. So they look at like a don't player, 2 DCs and a don't pass. They could lose all that stuff, right? As the rhythm happens. A right side player could lose it all in the 7. If you have anything contra, they may not work it. The horseman, I've been told, I asked very pointedly on my last cruise, 2 and 3 come bets. The guy said, yeah, that's all 5 units are in action. You'd be rated for all 5, right? So when we played the horseman, we got a 125 rating. When I played the 66, I didn't get the 125 rating. Although with the 66, sometimes what I would do, in the little side hustle for you here, I would go 66 to 88 to 44, right? And let's say I press up a few times. I'd say pull my bets down, and I would go out there when the box was looking and go 110 inside. Even though I was going to press to that point anyway, I would call it out. Make me look like 110 inside. And you start saying those words out loud, and they start typing in the computer for you. So sometimes you got to play the game a little bit too. So, all right, I'm out of here, guys. 8 o'clock. It was a good half hour. I think all the questions have been addressed. I guess, yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I think that's it. So tomorrow we'll have the bubble craps. I got to go dig that thing up. And yeah, y'all have a good day. Happy Monday. And let's get after it this week. I have one more thing before you go. You know, we're going to have our funny quote of the week here, right? Here's the quote of the week. You ready for this one? This is going to get me in so much trouble. Here's your inspirational quote of the week. By the way, tomorrow we'll do more of this. The inspirational quote of the week is this. Do crackheads say, can't get high today because I'm broke? No. Crackheads make it happen. Don't let a crackhead try harder than you today. That's my inspiration. Tell your kids. Don't get outworked by a crackhead. They make it happen. We were talking about this last night. I'm like, I remember when I was young and I was smoking. We were talking about the price of cigarettes. How now they're like $110 a carton. They were like $10 a carton when I was young. And I'm like, you know what? As poor as I was, I worked for minimum wage and I barely made rent and blah, blah, blah. I always had my cigarettes. I never didn't have a pack of cigarettes, no matter what. I always made that shit happen, right? I always had enough money for a 6-pack and a pack of smokes, right? Always made that happen. So you can too. Have a great Monday. I love you all. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.